Hello, my name is Aquila Shabazz. Welcome to our studio, where we will talk today about Oakland's untold murder stories. We will also talk to the accuser himself, the man who committed a murder, who served jail time, and who was also here to talk about his rehabilitation and how he turned his life completely around. Now, did you know that Oakland had over 95 homicides in 2010? Oakland has also been named one of the most horrific cities with one of the highest crime rates in the world. Now, during the exclusive interview that I had with our guest, he shared with us some untold stories that the media failed to uncover. I would like to welcome Zarif to the show. Welcome. Nice to have you. Yes. Good to see you again. Thank you. During our last session, you appeared, even sounded very remorseful about what happened over 3.5 years ago. Tell us about that.
Well, basically, it all started out with a dispute between me and my girlfriend and another man. And what happened is that, things start changing our relationship. She started coming in late, hiding and going around, taking secret phone calls and things of that nature. And I really started getting a little insecure with her actions. So therefore, I felt like something was going on. So at the same time, she was in the kitchen cooking. And her phone went off in the bedroom, and I was in the bedroom actually. And I just took it upon myself just to answer her phone, something I wouldn't usually do. But at the same time, I did it. So when I checked the text message and it came back as, "Hi baby, how you doing? If you could meet me over at the mall at such and such a time, I'll be there." So after she said, and made up an excuse about she had something she had to go do. And I already knew by the text message that she was up to no good. She was up to something because this is a man on the other end of this text. So I took it upon myself to follow her to the place that was on the text message where they was going to meet up at. And after she took off, I took off behind her, and I had followed her to the mall. So once we got to the location, I kind of kicked back and let her jump out her car and jump in another vehicle, which was a guy's car. You know what I'm saying? I seen the back of his head, and I knew it was a man, it wasn't a woman. So everything that I thought was going on was really actually going on. So after she jumped in the car, I approached it and asking her, "What's happening? What is you doing?" And you gonna ask me, she asked me, "What am I doing here?" I asked her, "That's not the question. What are you doing here, and who is this you with?"
So you started to get a little...
I mean, it was frustrating because now my heart is involved because I love my female, you know what I mean? I love my girlfriend, and it's like betrayal. As good as I am, and the things that, we was a family. And for me to see this, first of all, the text messages, and then to follow you to a mall, and everything that I thought you was doing, and now it's, you know what I mean? So I asked her to get out the car, and dude, he just start getting aggressive with me. So he jumped out and swung around the other side and pushed me. I told him, "Man, it's not between me and him. This is my girlfriend, man. I don't know what she told you." I was letting him know that this was my woman. So all of a sudden, the man pushed me and started using excessive force and started punching on me and doing this, that, and the other. And I wasn't with that. My feelings was already hurt. And he gonna get out and try to be the more of aggressor behind my woman and just start jumping on me. So, I basically just snapped. I flashed. And by me knowing she was going to meet up with somebody, I took my pistol with me just in case something like this could have happened. He pushed me and swung twice, and I pulled out my gun and I shot twice. So I was basically protecting myself while I'm going to approach a situation. You know what I mean? So that's basically what happened on that day.
Zarif, you told my producer something that was very shocking, something that happened while you were serving your prison sentence. Tell us about that.
The family has sent me a photo of a 7-year-old child, which was the man's son. And that right there really took me to another place as a form of state of regret. You know, because I never grew up with a father. I don't know my father or nothing like that. And for me to have murdered this young child's father really did something to me.
Now, Zarif, how did you spend your time while you were in prison? Did you seek counseling? Did you seek an outside source? What was it that you connected with while you were in prison?
Looking for an answer, people can't give you the answer. So the thing was that I got my answer from a higher power, and long as God forgive me, I was pretty much comfortable with that.
Now, looking back to that night, what could you have done differently?
In the heat of a moment, if I can go back and change time and do it a little differently, I pretty much would have just left the situation. Because if that was my woman, she wouldn't have did that to me, first of all. Second of all, my beef was not with the man. It was with the woman. And even in the midst of him being hostile, I would have just turned around and left, because it's not even worth what could happen, what did happen. But at the same time, if I can, like I said, if I can go back and change it, I would have just walked away. Went back and packed my stuff up and left. You know what I mean? Without even getting into the altercation with the man, or having to be put in a situation to pull a gun out and shoot somebody over, you know, a woman that's not even being true in her relationship. You know what I mean? Or even any other situation in that matter. If you can work out your petty differences, you can get past it to where everybody can go home and live.
Now, this question probably would seem a little odd. It would even probably put you in a very uncomfortable state, but I have to ask this question. If you had the opportunity to come face to face with the victim's family, with his son, with his mother, what would you say first?
The first thing I would basically say is I would ask for their forgiveness, and I would apologize, first of all, for what I've done to all of them. Not just the one that was slain, but the ones that's left to deal with, you know, him being gone. If it was anything that I can do in the sense of trying to be there for that little boy or whatnot, because I also have a 7-year-old. And I could not imagine what he would go through if I was never around anymore. But like you said, the question that you asked me, this too is out of the ordinary. If the family have gave me a chance, even though I know it probably wouldn't happen in a million years, they probably would want my head today or tomorrow. But because I did take that young boy's father, if it was just some kind of way that I can play a part and just be a human sacrifice and just give something back to that child, I would love to play that part. If I could take him to the movies or take him to the park and throw the football with him. Like I say, it sounds crazy, it sounds out of the ordinary, but that's how remorseful I am behind what I have done, because I know that it was not right. It's something that happened. I can't take it back, but if I can change it, I don't want to just be looked at for what I did, like I'm some kind of crazy lunatic or a murderer. I reacted on a situation without thinking. But to the family, I would just ask for their forgiveness and just, I do apologize, and I am very and truly sorry for taking the life of somebody you truly loved.
Now, here on our show, we look to help others, whether it be find comfort, connect them with our various mentors, get them involved in support groups, things of that nature. But because we're taking a different approach this time, we're talking to the other side. What could we do for you?
Basically, the best thing to do for me right now is to pray for me.
And you have our prayers.
And just not stereotype me as being, like I said, a murderer, a killer, or somebody that's just really up to no good. But I am very remorseful, and I am very apologetic, and I'm very sorry for all of this. Because it's not just, the man that then passed on that I murdered and me still being here. It's enough for me just even dealing with knowing that I took another man's life, that have family that love him, that have children. Because me too, I too have children and a family that love me also. And I was in no position to take another man's life. But at the same time, I just ask for the support and the prayers of everybody else out there. I made a mistake. I'm not a demon. I'm not a murderer, and I'm not a killer. I just got caught up in the heated moment and made one of the biggest mistakes of my life. So the best thing that I can ask of the family and, my family and even you, of course, is prayer.
As I said before, one of the purposes of our show is to connect with our guests so that they feel a sense of hope beyond despair. But because we're taking a different approach this time, we've talked to the other side, we've talked about the situation that happened 3.5 years ago. You shared with us some of the untold stories that that was not covered in the media. For that, Zarif, I just want to say I thank you, first of all, for your courage, for coming on our show. I commend you for that whole sense of manhood that you've presented today, that whole rehabilitation part of you. You went into prison one way, and then you came out a total different man. I'm not saying that I support wrong murder, but what I will say is that I love to hear success stories. So again, I thank you, and I wish you the best, and may God bless you.